for those athletic trainers aspiring to, get in the NBA, work on these staffs, explain what's your average week like in season. What does your week entail? What are the big general responsibilities, time commitments, and preparation things? What is your week look like?
Yeah, it'll change depends on whether you have game or not.
Mm-hmm.
But typically, if you don't have game and you're in the home market, typically you have practice around 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
You would probably have a prep time before that, like an hour and a half, 2 hours before that.
Mm-hmm.
Guys would come in, get treatment, rehab, and do some strength conditioning work before the practice.
Mm-hmm.
So you would actually start like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
which is way better than working for football.
Yeah. Yes, that is way better than working for football. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get up like 4 a.m. or anything like that. So and then practice usually around an hour and a half and 2 hours, and then some guys would leave right away, or some guys would stay for extra work, and some guys would get some recovery work after that. So practice days is usually short. You'd probably get done around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're free to go.
Mm-hmm.
And on the game day, it's usually they usually have a shoot around in the morning. So they would start in the morning around 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
They would shoot for an hour, go through some plays and stuff. And then they would go home, and we would go home for a little bit and get to arena for prepping work around like 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And the game would start, and then you would probably finish around before midnight.
Got it.
And that's the typical schedule. But in between that, you have a lot of travels. You would travel basically some month you're not home for half of the month.
Yes.
So
yeah.
It is a crazy schedule, traveling wise.
Yeah. The lifestyle, I give all of you guys so much credit. Whenever you're at that level, the lifestyle, when you're in season, it's very demanding. And yeah, you have to be there. You have to be your best so that you can help the team perform, right? And I always kind of joke with this, working in the NFL and all of that. Like, if you come from Hawaii, even though you're traveling a lot, man, when you travel out of Hawaii, traveling is easy. You don't have to worry about things like the flights are so close. We're not flying 5 hours just to get to the closest spot. So I'm sure that you relate to all of that with the travel. But I can imagine the games, right? Way more games, a lot more travel. You have to be on the road a lot more. So all of that is very tough too.
Yes.
Thinking about that, so just kind of giving some perspective into what the lifestyle is like. But let's start by, how did you transition? Was there already a spot that was open as an assistant athletic trainer, and you just pretty much switched over from the seasonal intern spot into that open spot? Or did someone leave, or how did that happen so that you became an assistant athletic trainer for the Hawks?
No, actually, there wasn't any opening as a full-time assistant. Before my first intern year, they already had 2 assistant athletic trainers and head athletic trainers and a director who is also ATPTC, ATCPT. And so there wasn't any position that was made that was open. But after season ended, they kept me as a full-time. And so they don't have a seasonal intern position anymore. Instead of that, they made that full-time position for me. And
got it.
Yeah, that's how it worked out. And I was really lucky.
Got it. Yeah. So how do most people, maybe colleagues across the league, or how do most people even, obviously in the beginning, just send out your resumes. That's for most professional sports, and just hope that there's a spot. But how do most people land on a staff athletic training spot or strength and conditioning spot? And is there a lot of movement around the league, or is it just very rare to have openings?
I think a lot of people would start from G League. A lot of people have G League experience, and then move their way up to the first team in the NBA. And that's how a lot of people get to get to the position
Mhm.
in the league. But I also know that a lot of people do like internships outside of NBA, and they expand their network, and then you get connected with some teams, and then you would start from there. And
Got it.
I can't tell you how exactly, but like you never know. Like you
Yeah.
never know who is connected with who, and
Uh-huh. That
so,
is crazy. So thinking about that, since you mentioned that, did you, when you were coming out of UH, or even when you were coming out of Lindenwood, did you contact any of the G League, like sports medicine
yeah,
staff, or, oh,
yeah.
got it.
I try to reach out to all the G League team as well,
Hmm.
but you rarely get that response. You won't get any response usually.
Oh, got it.
So I
Yeah.
only had a few. I only knew a few people in the league. I only had a few emails from the league, so that's how I kind of knew had the connection, and
Got it.
connection that I made at Stanford was huge for me.
Hmm. Yeah, you never know what connections everyone has. And
But,
I always say that, I mean, even in the United States, right? The athletic training community, it's still relatively small. Like people know each other all over, right? Because of, you have experiences in various places, you have worked or helped with people either on the road or whatever it is. So there's so many connections, and you never know what connections might help you get to where you want to be, right?
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. I never thought of Stanford experience will lead me to NBA team at all.
Yes, yes. And that goes for any athletic training students. Just take all these opportunities, like you said, and just do your best, right? Because you'll get something out of it. And the more that you put forth, everyone will see that, and it'll help you progress in your career.